Dectomax Injectable enables you to control the parasites that count, including the 5 major worms, cattle lice, mites and cattle tick. It contains the active ingredient doramectin. Dectomax provides sustained protection for your cattle with fewer treatments and reduced pasture contamination. It's comforting to know that when used correctly, it's unlikely to have any impact on dung beetle populations. Zoetis has developed the Dectomax metal injector to allow you to safely administer a drench with minimal risk to the administrator in a fast and simple way. The drench is deposited below the skin and absorbed directly into the bloodstream. The Dectomax injector can be easily adjusted to administer differing dose rates up to 10 ml. This allows the one injector to be used for all classes of cattle. Prior to drenching, read the label first, as every drench has a unique label and steps that need to be followed. Always read the label because it explains the parasites the drench treats, the length of protection, steps for the safety of the animal, the environment and the operator, how to store the drench, and how to dispose of used drench containers. Always check the expiry date on all drenches to ensure that they are in date. Check the meat and milk withhold periods and the export slaughter interval to ensure it's consistent with your management plans. When using the injector, it's essential that you take your time, calmly handle the animals, ensure that human safety is your priority. Correctly using the injector will increase your safety, reduce the risk of adverse events, and improve the overall injection experience. If you or someone you're working with observes a suspected adverse event, including human exposure or an animal reaction with any Zoetis product, please contact the product support team on 1800 814 883. Before you organise drenching, you should really know the level of worms in your cattle and what species of worms are present. For more information, please watch the fecal egg count best practice video. Fecal egg counts are important in determining the level of adult internal parasite burden and providing valuable information to influence the drenching decision. Drench resistance affects every farm in Australia, and you should know what drenches work at higher than 95% on your farm. If you're unsure of your drench resistance status, do a drench check. That is, a worm egg count 14 days after drenching. WormTracks is an informative website that allows you to easily check the mixture of cattle worm types in your local area. Visit WormTracks within the Zoetis Livestock Solutions website, www.zoetis.com.au/ls. For best practice drenching, you should deliver the correct amount of drench to the individual cattle weight. A representative sample of animals should be weighed before treatment. The dose rate should be based on the heaviest cattle in each group, that is, whether they're bulls, cows, steers, calves, etc. Draft into different lines if needed. When there's a large variation in size within the group, draft into 2 or more lines based on body weight to avoid excess overdosing. Treatment of very young animals, less than 40 kilograms body weight, is generally not warranted for worm control. Treatment of young animals may be required for tick clearance. In these cases, always treat both cows and calves when they're in the same mob. The dose rate for Dectomax Injectable is 1 ml per 50 kilograms body weight, administered subcutaneously. Simply adjust the injector dose rate to suit your needs. It's important to set the Dectomax injector up correctly and undertake regular maintenance for best results and user safety. Treat the injector like there's always a needle attached to reduce the risk of accidental human exposure. To remove or attach a needle, use pliers or a needle removal tool. Check that the barrel is tight on the injector. Tighten clockwise if needed. Calibration is important, no matter if it's an injector, a drench applicator or your weigh scales. The device must be calibrated prior to use every time to ensure accurate dosing and to minimise wastage. To calibrate your injector, ensure there's no needle attached, connect the draw-off tube and place the open end in clean water. To prime the injector, point the injector downwards and pump until the air is eliminated. Carefully finish priming in an upward position until the barrel completely fills with water. Test the dose accuracy by using a graduated measuring receptacle. First, set the dose rate at 2 ml and then apply 20 full doses of water into the measuring receptacle. This should equal 40 ml. There may be a fault if this doesn't occur. With a fail, check the setup and retry. Dectomax Injectable Drench is registered to use with a draw-off tube. Make a pilot hole in the rubber stopper of the bottle by piercing it with a sterile new needle. Insert the spigot, which is fixed to the middle of the draw-off cap, into the centre of the rubber stopper. Clip the cap on gently but tightly to ensure a firm fit is achieved. To prime the injector with drench, ensure no needle is attached, point the injector downwards and squeeze the handle to fill the barrel, and then upwards for the final prime until the air is eliminated and the barrel is filled completely with drench. For air pockets in the draw-off tube, gently shake the inverted bottle whilst it is above the injector until the air recedes back into the bottle. Needle selection and connection. Needle selection is important for best practice injection. Zoetis recommends using a 16 gauge by ½ inch, that is a 12 mm needle. Place the needle at a 45-degree angle to the skin. This will ensure the drench reaches maximum efficacy while minimising any site reactions. Have the beveled edge, the flat open edge of the needle, parallel to the skin. This will help to ensure the drench is placed under the skin and not into the top layer of muscle. To attach the needle, use needle nose pliers or a needle removal tool. Change your needles regularly during the day, about every 50 to 100 doses, to make sure that the drench doesn't cause any site reactions due to damaged or dirty needles. Make sure you placed your used needles into a sharps container. Whether cattle are in a crush, a shoot or a cattle race, it's important that they're sufficiently restrained so they don't move during injection. Avoid injecting cattle when wet or in dusty yards, and avoid injecting through soiled skin. If required, clean skin with a paper towel. The injection should be given high up on the neck near the base of the ear to minimise site reactions and possible carcass trim. Do not be tempted to inject unused drench in the gun or the draw-off tube back into the bottle. This could contaminate the bottle. Check the label instructions to understand the shelf life after opening. The contents of Dectomax Injectable should be used within 28 days of first use, when the following label instructions are followed. Unclip the draw-off cap and withdraw the spigot out of the rubber stopper. Upon removal of draw-off assembly, the stopper should reseal. Sterilise the drench cap with methylated spirits. When it's time to use a previously opened product, wipe the drench cap with methylated spirits. Attach a new draw-off tube or one that's been boiled for 10 minutes and use the remaining product. Clean-up and maintenance of these injectors should be undertaken at the end of the day's work. Always wear gloves when cleaning your equipment. Ensure there's no needle attached or product remaining in the injector or the draw-off tube. Your safety and that of anyone around you is of importance. Fill a container of adequate size with warm water and mild dishwashing detergent. While wearing your gloves, insert the injector into the water, Prime it with the exit and entry orifices remaining underwater. Gently squeeze the handle 20 to 30 times. Remove and inspect. The injector barrel can be removed and more thoroughly cleaned by unscrewing the barrel. Wash this thoroughly to remove all material. Keep the applicator clean with a quick scrub. Rinse with clean fresh water before reassembling the applicator. To reassemble, apply oil to the O-ring of the Dectomax injector, then reattach the barrel tightly. Apply a drop of oil onto the inlet spigot and pump the handle several times. Always dispose of your needles correctly in a certified sharps container. Injectors and empty product packs should be carefully placed in landfill garbage. For storage, always clean and lubricate the injectors and keep in a clean, dry place, and they'll be ready to go when you next need them. Thank you very much for watching. I trust you found this informative. If you have any questions, please visit Livestock Solutions on the Zoetis website for further information.